What's up, guys? It's John Muscarello here from Side Hustle Experiment. Thank you for watching this video and coming to my channel. I talk about reselling books and media on Amazon and eBay. I do this full-time. I'm a full-time e-commerce entrepreneur doing 6 figures in sales. And today I want to talk about where you can find sources to buy Gaylords of books. I get this question DM'd to me all the time. It is way too much to type out, so I decided to make a video on the way home from the warehouse. Before we get started, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I'd greatly appreciate it. I try to offer you guys value to help you make money on eBay and Amazon. And let's get into it. So I have come across many different sources. I've bought from many different people, many different ways. And I'm gonna break down, I think I have 5 written down. It's either 4 or 5 places that you could buy from. I've bought from some of these places and not from other places, but this is just my 2 cents on it. So here we go. So the first place you could buy them is large thrift stores. So think about Salvation Army, Goodwill Outlet, Savers. Trying to think. It will depend on where you are regionally. Goodwill and Savers are the Goodwill and Salvation Army are the ones in my area that are the biggest. A lot of people start with Goodwill Outlet. They do sell Gaylords of books. I know they sell Gaylords of books in my area. I have never bought from them. I've just never had the need to do so. But that's a great place to start. Some areas, you know, you can just walk in, talk to a manager and say, hey, I'm running e-commerce bookstore. We're looking to buy books, you know, look somewhat professional. And we're looking to buy Gaylords of books. Can we talk pricing? Do you sell them? And then kind of go from there. Just be prepared if they say yes to be ready to go. Like, you're gonna have to have a truck ready to go. If you already have a warehouse, you probably already know the whole thing, what you gotta do. If you don't, you should probably have like a storage unit ready. You can process the books in a truck, but I'm gonna create a whole nother video about exactly what you need to process Gaylords of books. So that's number 1. You buy from large thrift stores. Number 2, you can buy them from recyclers. If you're ever driving around or you go to the grocery store or pretty much anywhere, you're gonna see bins for clothing and for books. There's usually, where I live anyway, 2 clothing bins for every book bin. I prefer to work with recyclers, and I'll get into that at the end when I wrap this up. But recyclers are great to work with. They are usually the cheapest option because most of them do other things. So the person I work with is heavily involved in clothing and hardwares, so they really don't care about books that much. But obviously they get a lot of them, so they want to move them. So I'm basically their only customer, and they love dropping off books to me, and it is a great relationship. This is probably one of the cheapest routes because the recycler, they don't really care. They want to get rid of the books. So you can pay anywhere from 3 cents to 5 cents a pound. I'm paying about, I think, 6 cents right now. 5 or 6. It just went up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 6 now. So yeah, that's a great source to do. The next one, you could buy from other booksellers. This is maybe not the best way, but if you're in the Facebook groups, join the Book Flipper, Caleb Ross Facebook group, join Romer the Romer's Facebook group. Caleb's is the Book Flipper something, just type that and search groups. Just search Romer the Romer, his group will come out. Those are primarily the 2 main book selling groups out there. You'll see all the time people saying, hey, I have a truckload of books I need to get rid of. Here's my zip code. If you're interested, let me know. That might be a little too big for you guys if you're new to the game, but you could reach out to that person and be like, hey, like, do you sell just 6? Do you sell just 8? Do you sell just 10? Now, if you have to pay for freight, it's going to be very hard to be profitable like that. But if you just want to get your foot in the door, and if you can make it work, might be worth a try. Number 4, you could use your network. So I have a couple, obviously I've been in the book selling community for 2-3 years now, and I've built connections. One person in particular has hooked me up with 3 sources. One was a total disaster, but that was not his fault at all. The second was, it didn't work out that great. And it was mainly because I bought Merch Fulfilled. So I bought pallets that were scanned for Merch Fulfilled, which means you fulfill the book and not FBA. I did that because I was in hopes going to buy FBA pallets from him, and I just kind of want to get the relationship started. But then the first source he provided me with, the very first one, works out amazing. That is my main supplier. So yeah. So people in your network, someone DM'd me on Instagram, said their cousin was getting out of the game and he wanted to sell a source. So we made a deal, and hopefully I can make a deal with his source and we can get that rocking and rolling. But yeah, so your relationships and people, who do you know? Ask around, ask family, friends. Do they know? Just ask around. And number 5 would be brokers. So I wanted to throw this in here because there are book brokers out there. And basically they facilitate. So basically thrift stores work with them. Thrift stores say, oh, we have so many books. The broker finds a buyer for those books. The broker usually tacks on about a penny to whatever the price the thrift store wants for doing the legwork. You would have to pay freight and all that good stuff. Or pick it up. So that's the one. How to find a broker. It's more of a, you gotta know people. It's kind of through network. The one broker I worked with, I've only worked with one broker. I was recommended, so I called a thrift store asking if they sold books in bulk. They said at the current time they were only doing truckloads of books. At that time I was just getting started, so I couldn't do anywhere near that. And I was like, before I hung up the phone, and this is a great tip, I asked, do you know anyone who sells them? He's like, oh yeah, like I know this guy. I don't know if he has any, but I've worked with him before as like a broker. Here's his contact info. So he gave his contact info, I called him, and he was actually the second source I've ever bought from. His books are expensive, but they were really, really good. But he's out of the game now, which kind of sucks. But that is one way. So those are the 5 ways. You have large thrift stores, recyclers, other booksellers, networking with them in Facebook groups, being on the lookout for, you know, book leads. On top of large thrift stores, ask the thrift stores you already go and buy books at. Ask for a manager, hey, do you sell books in bulk? I'm looking to buy books in bulk. The 4th, your network, people that you talk to, people you ask for help, people, I don't know, if you don't have a network, start building a network. And number 5, brokers. Yeah, those are more word of mouth. You can ask people. Some people know people, other people don't. That's been my experience. And so I want to just cover some pros and cons about the sources. I would say large thrifts. I love to buy from recyclers. Recyclers are very easy to work with. They get a ton of material because they have donation bins everywhere. Most recyclers for books don't care about books. They just care about what they sell mainly, which is mainly clothing, sneakers, hard goods, scrap metal, that kind of stuff. So they love booksellers because they get a huge volume and they love getting rid of them, and their prices are usually pretty good. So those are the pros of working with them. A con could be that, you know, you're not their #1 priority because, you know, they do more business other places. I have not had that experience with the current person I work with. We have an amazing relationship. Thrift stores, I would say thrift stores, brokers, and booksellers, just be careful with these. I have bought from a broker before and they sold me total garbage. So just be careful about that. Make sure to ask where the books are coming from. Have they been scanned? What kind of place are they coming from? Is it excess? You just really got to be careful. There are some shady people out there. So that goes for brokers and booksellers. I love booksellers. They're all usually good. But like I said, I have had an experience in particular where I have gotten sold someone else's duds. It is not fun. I feel like that is a terrible thing for another bookseller to do, but whatever. It is what it is. And then thrift stores, they're one of the last ones. I don't know. I bought from thrift store before. It didn't really go that great. It was a weird arrangement where they it wasn't raw. They basically put out what they wanted to in the store, and whatever is left over, that's what I got. So they did take some of the popular stuff out. Who knows? But I knew this store in particular did not sell textbooks, so there were a lot of textbooks in there. So pro and con, and I was just getting started then, so I didn't really know how to monetize a lot. So it might be different this time around, but the one thing to be on the lookout for with thrift store, again, is, you know, make sure to ask, hey, have these been out on the floor before? Have customers gone through this? Do you guys sell online? You know, you want to make sure you're not buying duds. And thrift stores, they can be hit or miss. Like I said, I've only worked with one. And it was all right, nothing great. You know, not good enough to reach back out to them. And brokers do work with thrift stores as well. So, you know, you just never know what you're gonna get. But again, my favorite from my experience has been recyclers, for the reasons I mentioned before. And that's about it, guys. So if you want to buy books in bulk, those are 5 places you can start with. And you can start by calling these people, going on websites. If you're driving or Google book donation bins in your area. If you can't find contact info, go to the bin. See if there's usually a phone number on it that says, hey, call us if this bin is full, or there's some branding on that. Take a picture, go home, Google it, and then go from there. And talk to your local thrift stores. Those are probably the easiest places to start. And of course, if you have a Goodwill outlet where you are, definitely look at that. I will see you guys in the next video. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment. Where have you tried to buy books in bulk? What are some of the troubles you're having? Maybe I could help you out. What are some of your favorite sources to buy from? I'd love to hear from you. And I'll see you in the next one.